What is your path to Dharma?
Here we are back with Path to Dharma podcast. I'm Shannon. This is Shay. We're so excited and happy and thrilled to be with you, with each other, with the universe, with Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How are you? How's it been?
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been okay. Yeah. I've been sleeping a lot,
Okay.
um, practicing my appreciation for everything,
Yes.
and no complaints, really. I mean, Hare Krishna. How about you? How are you?
I mean, the energy is ridiculously intense right now
Yeah.
and very transformational and life-changing and all of those things. So I've just been trying to stay into a state of surrender, to be honest, and just know that everything that's unfolding in life is meant to happen. It's all in the plan. Krishna's got me. And that's just kind of where I'm at lately.
I think hence why I've been sleeping so much.
Yeah, no,
That tends to
seriously.
be my thing. Like I hibernate in times of high energy.
That's that
And
Taurus
just
moon.
drinking, yeah, and just drinking as much water as I can, going on walks with Spruce, all the
Yeah.
things.
I've been a little obsessed with the Ramayana, as you know, and Lord
Yes.
Ram, and just I think it has to do with what Lord Ram has been representing to me, which is like this fierce determination to like stay on
Mm.
your path, like Dharma. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's the thing that I should be paying attention to is like this idea of like righteousness and Dharma, and like I don't want to be distracted from my mission.
right.
And I had this dream about Lord Hanuman. Actually, not even really about Lord Hanuman, but like Lord Hanuman's tail, if that makes sense. Where,
Really?
yeah. And it was like they're like like protecting me, like circling around me or whatever. So I just sort of feel Lord Hanuman also. And
Hmm.
I know, I know there's like so much devotional power there. So
Yes.
I just tapping into a tiniest bit of that just feels amazing. So good. Anyway,
Yes. Well,
um,
go check out our short. Is it out already by the time
yeah,
this goes up? It was
yeah,
narrated by my little brother,
yeah,
obviously Shannon's other son, my youngest brother, and it's so good. It's adorable. I love that he is a part of that with us.
yeah, samesies. Okay, so where are we? We are
Well,
reading.
let's pause.
Okay,
Do we have any more announcements
yeah,
before?
do we?
I don't think so. We need to talk Krishna fan club. Um, we didn't
Yeah,
have our Krishna fan club in July. I think would this next Saturday be when it would normally be?
yes, and we need to do it. So Krishna Fan Club this Saturday, 7 a.m.
7th.
Eastern,
Yeah,
7:30. Did we say 7:30
7:30.
works better?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really just looking forward to that. I love Christian
Yes.
Fan Club, just of the conversations we get to have.
So come join us, please. It's live on YouTube. We'll put
Yeah,
up a thumbnail. We'll let you know exactly. It is going to be at 7:30 Eastern time. So we love interacting with um you guys. With
definitely.
so yeah, come hang out with us for Krishna Fan Club this Saturday. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I think that's it. I
I
think
think
that's all
that's
we
it
got.
too. I think that's it too. So,
Shall we jump into the obeisances and then begin, or do you want to chat a bit before we do obeisances?
yeah, no, let's just jump into it. I just wanted to remind everybody, if you're just joining us, we've been reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are in the third canto, part two. It's like my
Mhm.
camera doesn't want to focus on this. Chapter 21. And we've been just reading about the creation of the universe, essentially. So it's been
Yes.
amazing. And yeah, let's just do the obeisances.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one must first offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. In loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact.
Let's go. Ow, ow. Hare Krishna.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, so yeah, we are Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, part 2, chapter 21, you said?
Chapter 21. We just finished up reading. Well, there was a epic battle between Lord Boar and the demon Hiranyaksa, where he
Yes.
defeats him, and then we have this whole conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, which again, Vidura asking the questions. And that's kind of where we're still at. Title of the chapter is Conversation Between Manu and Kardama,
Mm-hmm.
and we just pick it up where we left off. So I'll start with text 1.
Yep.
Vidura said, the line of Svayambhuva Manu was most esteemed. A worshipful sage, I beg you, give me an account of this race whose progeny multiplied through sexual intercourse. Okay.
The two great sons of Svayambhuva Manu, Priyavrata and Uttanapada, ruled the world, consisting of 7 islands, just according to religious principles.
O holy Brahmana, O sinless one, you have spoken of his daughter known by the name of Devahuti as the
Hmm.
wife of Kardama, the lord of created beings.
How many offsprings did that great yogi beget through the princess, who was endowed with eightfold perfection in the yoga principles? Oh, pray tell me this, for I am eager to hear it.
These are all new characters to us.
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Devahuti we've read about though.
Yeah, a little bit. Text 5. O holy sage, tell me how the worshipful Ruchi and Daksa, the son of Brahma, generated children after securing as their wives the other 2 daughters of Svayambhuva Manu.
Mm. The great sage Maitreya replied, commanded by Lord Brahma to beget children in the worlds, the worshipful Kardama Muni practiced penance on the bank of the river Saraswati. Saraswati for a period of 10,000 years.
During that period of penance, the sage Kardama, by worship through devotional service in trance, propitiated the personality of Godhead, who is the quick bestower of all blessings upon those who flee to him for protection. It's like the quick bestower, but it took 10,000 years.
Right.
Sometimes when we like say the Kali Yuga is like harsh or whatever, at least we don't have to like do penance for 10,000 years. Holy cow.
We might be doing penance right now though.
Yeah, like our whole lifetime is a penance. You're right.
Perhaps.
I think.
Text 8. Then in the Satya Yuga, wait, did I skip a line? No, I'm
No.
good.
Yeah.
Then in the Satya Yuga, the lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead, being pleased, showed himself to that Kardama Muni and displayed his transcendental form, which can be understood only through the Vedas.
Kardama Muni saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is free from material contamination, in his eternal form, effulgent like the sun, wearing a garland of white lotuses and water lilies. The Lord was clad in spotless yellow silk. His lotus face was fringed with slick, dark locks of curly hair.
Adorned with a crown and earrings, he held his characteristic conch, disc and mace in 3 of his hands, and a white lily in the 4th. He glanced about in a happy, smiling mood whose sight captivates the hearts of all devotees.
A golden streak on his chest, the famous Kastuba gem, suspended from his neck. He stood in the air with his lotus feet placed on the shoulders of Garuda.
Garuda is like the eagle, right?
I'm not sure.
I want to just scan. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. I think Garuda is the eagle god. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
doesn't say. Okay, maybe it'll say. Keep going.
Text 12. When Kamarda, when Kardama Muni actually realized the Supreme Personality of Godhead in person, he was greatly satisfied because his transcendental desire was fulfilled. He fell on the ground with his head bowed to offer obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Lord. His heart naturally full of love of God, with folded hands, he satisfied the Lord with prayers.
The great sage Kardama said, O supreme worshipful Lord, my power of sight is now fulfilled, having attained the greatest perfection of the sight of you, who are the reservoir of all existences. Through many successive births of deep meditation, advanced yogis aspire to see your transcendental form.
That just gives me hope that we're getting closer with every lifetime, girl.
Right, right.
Your lotus feet are the true vessel to take one across the ocean of mundane nescience. Only persons deprived of their intelligence by the spell of the deluding energy will worship the feet with a view to attain the trivial and momentary pleasures of the senses, which even persons rotting in hell
Mm.
can attain. However, O my Lord, you are so kind that you bestow mercy even upon them.
Therefore, desiring to marry a girl of like disposition who may prove to be a veritable cow of plenty in my married life, to satisfy my lustful desire, I too have sought the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of everything, for you are like a desire tree. Oh, I love that. A desire tree.
Well, what does
Lovely.
it say in the Gita? Something about there's like a few reasons why somebody might come to Krishna. It's because
Yeah,
they want something. It's
yeah.
because what are the I
There's
don't
four, I know. And it's like, I forget them. I
it's like
almost want to
because
look it
they
up.
desire I know like they because they desire something.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Maybe to attain knowledge, to attain I love. I don't know. I can't
But
remember.
you're like pointing to the whole desire because they
Yeah,
desire something. Yeah.
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 For you are like a desire tree. And
Wow.
isn't it true?
I love it.
Sometimes I find myself going to Krishna when it's like I'm in a quick like need of something or
Yeah.
desire of something. It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
When my dog was sick, I'm like, please, Krishna, anything.
Yeah.
Okay, text 16. O my Lord, you are the master and leader of all living entities. Under your direction, all conditioned souls, as if bound by rope, are constantly engaged in satisfying their desires. Following them, O embodiment of religion, I also bear oblations for you, who are eternal time.
However, persons who have given up stereotyped worldly affairs and the beastly followers of these affairs, and who have taken shelter of the umbrella of your lotus feet by drinking the intoxicating nectar of your qualities and activities in discussions with one another, can be freed from the primary necessities of the material body.
Oh,
Okay,
that's pretty
that is
big.
quite the sentence.
Pretty big.
That's a that's a lot there.
Your wheel, which has three naves, rotates around the axis of the imperishable Brahman. It has 13 spokes, 360 joints, six rims, and numberless leaves carved upon it. Though it is revolution, though its revolution cuts short the lifespan of the entire creation, this wheel of tremendous velocity cannot touch the lifespan of the devotees of the Lord.
Interesting. My dear Lord, you alone create the universes. O personality of Godhead, desiring to create these universes, you create them, maintain them, and again wind them up by your own energies, which are under the control of your second energy called Yoga Maya, just as a spider creates a cobweb by its own energy and again winds it up.
Wait, can we just chat for a sec? Like, why though? Why is the personality of Godhead creating these
For his,
universes?
it's his pastime. It's his eternal pastime.
It's like he's weaving. It's like he's like making a crochet sweater.
Right. You know, I love a spider analogy.
Yeah, you
This
do.
is a little bit from the purport. The example of the spider is very significant. The spider is an individual living entity, and by its energy, it creates a cobweb and plays on it. And whenever it likes it, winds up the cobweb, thus ending the play. So
Mm,
good. So good. I
yeah,
love it. Yeah. So good. The cobweb is literally manufactured by the saliva of the spider. Ugh, it's so good. So it's
okay,
like
yeah.
it's this idea of like he's creating the universe and then he brings it back when he's done. But like I think that's what we're kind of learning overall. It's his Leela. It's the pastime. If you're a
So
eternal
you know
entity,
what? What a
what do you do?
pleasure. What
What
a
a pleasure.
pleasure to be a part of. I
Right.
so appreciate being here
Yes.
as part of the pastime.
Right. As part of the
What
play.
a wonderful creation. What a
Amazing.
wonderful creation. Truly. Looking out of my window, I see trees. My dog, I got a dog with me. This
Right?
beautiful wooden desk in front of me, all made up of the same
So
stuff.
good. Your little section of the spider web.
It's really good. Thanks, Krishna. All right, text 20. My dear Lord, although it is not your desire, you manifest this creation of gross and subtle elements just for our sensual
Ah,
satisfaction. Let your causeless
okay.
mercy be upon us, for you have appeared before us in your eternal form, adorned with a splendid wreath of tulsi leaves.
So is it for our pastime also? It's for our sensual satisfaction as beings. This is part of why we've found ourselves in this manifested creation. Very interesting. I
It's like
keep,
I've been grappling this with
I
this for a
know.
few. It's like, okay, if this is like the Earth game
Hmm.
spun out by God
Right.
as a pastime of him
Yeah.
or them or she, whoever, them,
Right.
you know, and then we choose to come here for yeah, for our own pastime to remember that we are just God.
Yeah. We're
So,
just,
but then you remember that you're God too, and then what? Continue,
yeah, yeah.
continue.
Right. Text 21. I continuously offer my respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet, of which it is worthy to take shelter, because you shower all benedictions on the insignificant. To give all living entities detachment from fruitive activity by realizing you have expanded these material worlds by your own energy. Okay, well, there's the answer. To give all living entities detachment
Yeah,
by
from
realizing
fruitive
you,
act.
by
Mm-hmm.
realizing you. So this, it's like that ultimate goal of what we're supposed to do here on earth to like
Well, and it's
enlightenment.
like pure transcendentalism
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
like really
Totally.
seeing God in everything. If this is really the pastimes of God,
Right.
then everything that is in creation has been created by them, by God.
For us, for
Or
God.
co-creation, right? If we talk about co-creation,
Yeah.
if we are just God anyhow, though, it all goes back to God, right?
A little mind-boggling, a little bit.
It just puts things in such perspective.
Yeah.
It makes me want to just lie in that causal ocean and be like, ah,
Yeah.
okay. Text 22. Maitreya resumed. Sincerely extolled in these words, Lord Vishnu, shining very beautifully on the shoulders of Garuda, replied with words as sweet as nectar. His eyebrows moved gracefully as he looked at the sage with a smile full of affection.
The Supreme Lord said, having come to know what was in your mind, I have already arranged for that which you have worshipped me well through your mental and sensory discipline. So he's already got it set up. I've already arranged that for you,
The
for
Lord
which you have
continued.
worshipped me. Yeah, go.
My dear Rishi, O leader of the living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you who have given up everything unto me, there is never
Mm.
any question of frustration.
The Emperor Svayambhuva Manu, the son of Lord Brahma, who is well known for his righteous acts, has his seat in Brahmavarta and rules over the earth with its seven oceans.
The day after tomorrow, O Brahman, that celebrated emperor who is expert in religious activities will come here with his queen, Shatarupa, wishing to see you.
Wow. He has a grown-up daughter whose eyes are black. She is ready for marriage and she has good character and all good qualities. She is also searching for a good husband. My dear sir, her parents will come to see you, who are exactly suitable for her, just to deliver their daughter as your wife.
That princess, O holy sage, will be just the type you have been thinking of in your heart for all these long years. She will soon be yours and will serve you to your heart's content.
She will bring,
Ah,
very nice, I know, very nice. She will bring forth nine daughters from the seed sown in her by you, and through the daughters you beget, the sages will duly beget children.
With your heart cleansed by properly carrying out my command, resigning to me the fruits of all your acts, you will finally attain me.
There's like some message in there about like the perfection of like creation here and like the combining of like the divine masculine and feminine energies that I
Yeah.
think we're supposed to be picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Showing compassion to all living entities, you will attain self realization. Giving assurances of safety to all, you will perceive your own self as well as the universe is in me and myself in you. Wow.
It's a long purport.
Yeah, long
Wow.
one.
O great sage, I shall manifest my own plenary portion through your wife, Devahuti, along with your 9 daughters, and I shall instruct her in the system of philosophy that deals with the ultimate principles of categories. So this is where Devahuti is already a knower of the principles of yoga
Yes,
coming to him. He's made sure of that.
right, right. Maitreya went on. Thus, having spoken to Kardama Muni, the Lord, who reveals himself only when the senses are in Krishna consciousness, departed from that lake called Bindu Swarvara, which was encircled by the river Sarasvati.
Wow. While the sage stood looking on, the Lord left by the pathway leading to Vaikuntha, a path extolled by all great liberated souls. The sage stood listening as the hymns forming the basis of the Samaveda were vibrated by the flapping wings of the Lord's carrier Garuda.
Okay, you were saying it was like a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, after the departure of the Lord, the worshipful sage Kardama stayed on the bank of Bindu Sarovara, awaiting the time of which the Lord had spoken.
Svayambhuva Manu, with his wife, mounted his chariot, which was decorated with golden ornaments. Placing his daughters on it with them, he began to travel all over the earth.
O Vidura, they reached the hermitage of the sage who had just completed his vows of austerity on the very day foretold by the Lord.
Of course.
Of course.
The holy lake Bindu Sarovara, flooded by the waters of the river Saraswati, was restored to by hosts of eminent sages. Its holy water was not only auspicious but as sweet as nectar. It was called Bindu Sarovara because drops of tears had fallen there from the eyes of the Lord, who was overwhelmed by extreme compassion for the sage who had sought his protection.
The shore of the lake was surrounded by clusters of pious trees and creepers, rich in fruits and flowers of all seasons, that afforded shelter to pious animals and birds, which uttered various cries. It was adorned by the beauty of groves of forest trees.
The area resounded with the notes of the overjoyed birds. Intoxicated bees wandered there. Intoxicated peacocks proudly danced, and merry cuckoos called one another.
Lake Bindu Sarovar was adorned by flowering trees such as Kadamba, Kampaka, Asoka, Karanja, Bakula, Asana, Kunda, Mandara, Kutaja, and young mango trees. The air was filled with the pleasing notes of Karandava, ducks, plavas, swans, ospreys, waterfowl, crane, kakravakas, and kakoras. So a bunch of flora and fauna,
Yeah.
basically. Yes.
Its shores abounded with deer, boars, porcupines, gavayas, elephants, baboons, lions, monkeys, mongooses, and musk deer.
Are these animals that exist and it's just a different name that we don't know?
I'm
Probably.
sure. Yeah, probably.
Text 45 through 47. Entering that most sacred spot with his daughter and going near the sage, the first monarch, Svayambhuva Manu, saw the sage sitting in his hermitage, having just propitiated the sacred fire by pouring oblations into it. His body shone most brightly. Though he had engaged in austere penance for a long time, he was not emaciated, for the Lord had cast his affectionate sidelong glance upon him, and he had also heard the nectar flowing from the moon-like words of the Lord. The sage was tall, his eyes were large, like the petals of a lotus, and he had matted locks on his head. He was clad in rags. Svayambhuva Manu approached and saw him to be somewhat soiled, like an unpolished gem.
Ooh, who is
Wow.
this?
Yeah.
Seeing that the monarch had come to his hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benediction and received him with due honor.
After receiving the sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent. Recalling the instructions of the Lord, Kardama then spoke to the king as follows, delighting him with his sweet accents.
The tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtuous and kill the demons, since you embody the protecting energy of Sri Hari.
You assume when necessary the part of the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishment, Dharma, the god of piety, and Varuna, the god presiding over the waters. All obeisances to you who are none other than Lord Vishnu.
So that is Lord Vishnu.
Well, it's Kardama and Vishnu. Remember, Kardama was the sage sitting there waiting to be, remember, he was doing the penance. So,
Yes.
and then he's like, hey, hold on, because dude's coming with his daughter the next day. And this is the king showing up with his daughter. And so he finds Kardama.
Okay, okay, okay.
But Kardama's like, actually, you're Vishnu.
Right. Texts.
Unless we're totally confused. Someone
No,
correct us, please.
I think that's right.
You think so? Okay.
All right, texts 52 to 54.
Yes, one more little Mercury retrograde moment we came back from. So here we are, 52
We
to
returned.
54.
If you did not mount your victorious jeweled chariot, whose mere presence threatened culprits, if you did not produce fierce sounds by the twanging of your bow, and if you did not roam about the world like the brilliant sun, leading a huge army whose trampling feet caused the globe of the earth to tremble, then all the moral laws governing the varnas and the ashramas, created by the Lord himself, will be broken by the rogues and rascals.
If you gave up all thought of the world's situation, unrighteousness would flourish. For men who hanker only after money would be unopposed. Such miscreants would attack, and the world would perish.
In spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, the purpose for which you have come here. Whatever it may be, we shall carry it out without reservation.
Okay, that was the end of chapter 21.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's keep going because now this is like leading up to actually chapter 22, the marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti.
Let's get it. Go ahead.
Okay, text one. Sri Maitreya said, after describing the greatness of the emperor's manifold qualities and activities, the sage became silent, and the emperor, feeling modesty, addressed him as follows.
Manu replied, to expand himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda, from his face created you, the Brahmins, who are full of austerity, knowledge, and mystic power, and are averse to great to and averse to sense gratification.
For the protection of the Brahmins, the thousand-legged supreme being created us, the Kshatriyas, from his thousand arms. Hence, the Brahmins are said to be his heart and the Kshatriyas his arms. Wow,
Hmm.
okay.
That is why the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas protect each other as well as themselves, and the Lord himself, who is both the cause and the effect, is yet immutable, protects them through each other.
Now I have resolved all my doubts simply by meeting you, for your lordship has very kindly and clearly explained the duty of a king who desires to protect his subjects.
It is my good fortune that I have been able to see you, for you cannot easily be seen by persons who have not subdued the mind or controlled the senses. I am all the more fortunate to have touched with my head the blessed dust of your feet.
I have fortunately been instructed by you, and thus great favor has been bestowed upon me. I thank God that I have listened with open ears to your pure words. Like, let me just like double snap that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
O great sage, graciously be pleased to listen to the prayer of my humble self, for my mind is troubled by affection for my daughter.
My daughter is the sister of Priyavrata and Uttanapada. She is seeking a suitable husband in terms of age, character, and good qualities.
The moment she heard from the sage Narada of your noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixed her mind upon you.
Therefore, please accept her, O chief of the Brahmins, for I offer her with faith, and she is in every respect fit to be your wife and take charge of your household duties.
To deny an offering that has come of itself is not commendable even for one absolutely free from all attachments, much less one addicted to sensual pleasure.
One who rejects an offering that comes of its own accord, but later begs a boon from a miser and thus loses his widespread reputation and his pride, is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others. Hmm.
Hmm.
That's, I almost want to say that again, right? Can I
Yeah.
read that again?
Mm-hmm.
One who rejects an offering that comes of its own accord, but later begs a boon from a miser and thus loses his widespread reputation, and his pride is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others. Interesting. Hmm. I mean, it's almost like that whole like be careful of what you ask for, be careful what you wish for, and then you get it, and then for whatever reason, you can't take it, you can't accept it, you don't accept it, but then later you try to get it. Later you beg for it.
Yeah.
Later you go back to Christian, you're like, wait a second, never mind what I said about not wanting that. Can I have that? Um, it's interesting and how it says his pride is humbled by the neglectful behavior of others. So this makes me think of, is that one of the ways that Krishna checks your pride is through having others neglect you or others like you know, cause harm to you, but like cause conflict with you? It seems like it.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, honestly. I'm slightly reading the purport.
Okay,
Um, and it's saying the general procedure of Vedic marriage is that a father offers his daughter to a suitable boy.
right.
That is respectable. A boy should not go to the girl's father and ask for the hand of his daughter. That is considered to be humbling one's respectable position.
Interesting. Let's take the allegory of this though. Do you know what I mean? Yes. It's talking about marriage, but it's kind of like this idea of like the bride and the bridegroom representing archetypes.
Right.
So I'm just, again, I'm wondering if part of what we're not supposed to pick up is this idea of your pride being humbled by others. Is there something we should be learning here about that?
I mean, okay. I think it has to do with non-attachment too, right?
Yeah.
His daughter is advanced in yoga, and he's coming to offer him to basically somebody who has nothing, who is totally detached and is a hermit. And that's who
Yeah.
he's choosing for his daughter,
Okay, that too.
you know,
Yeah.
based on what he does have, which is like spiritual aspiration and connection to Godhead.
Right. Which is the more important thing, obviously.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, let's continue.
What was
Svayambhu
Oh, sorry, go.
I think it's me.
Yep.
Svayambhuva Manu continued, O wise man, I heard that you were prepared to marry. Please accept her hand, which is being offered to you by me, since you have not taken a vow of perpetual celibacy.
The great sage replied, certainly I have a desire to marry, and your daughter has not yet married or given her word to anyone. Therefore, our marriage, according to the Vedic system, can take place.
Let your daughter's desire for marriage, which is recognized in the Vedic scriptures, be fulfilled. Who would not accept her hand? She is so beautiful that her bodily luster alone, she excels the beauty of her ornaments.
I have heard that Vivas, the great Gandharva, his mind stupefied with infatuation, fell from his airplane after seeing your daughter playing with a ball on the roof of the palace. For she was indeed beautiful with her tinkling ankle bells and her eyes moving to and fro. Wow.
What wise man would not welcome her, the very ornament in womanhood, the beloved daughter of Svayambhuva Manu and the sister of Uttanapada? Those who have not worshipped the gracious feet of the goddess of fortune cannot even perceive her, yet she has come of her own accord to seek my hand.
Therefore, I shall accept this chaste girl as my wife, on the condition that after she bears semen from my body, I shall accept the life of devotional service accepted by the most perfect human beings. That process was described by Lord Vishnu. It is free from envy.
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
The highest authority for me is the unlimited Supreme Personality
Hmm.
of Godhead, from whom this wonderful creation emanates, and in whom its sustenance and dissolution rest. He is the origin of all Prajapatis, personalities meant to produce living entities in this world.
Okay, are we to grasp then what he's saying is that after I produce a child with her, then I'm going to go to enlightenment or go do
I think so. Yeah.
whatever that is. I don't know the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. He's going to enter back into spiritual life. Not that
Yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
not that he's exiting, but he's going to continue on his path, it
Right.
seems.
Okay.
Text 21, I think it's you.
Sri Maitreya said, O great warrior Vidura, the sage Kardama said this much only and then became silent, thinking of his worshipable Lord Vishnu, who has a lotus on his navel. And he silently smiled. His face captured the mind of Devahuti, who began to meditate upon the great sage.
After having unmistakably known the decision of the queen, as well as that of Devahuti, the emperor most gladly gave his daughter to the sage, whose host of virtues was equaled by hers.
Empress Shatarupa lovingly gave most valuable presents suitable for the occasion, such as jewelry, clothes, and household articles in dowry to the bride and bridegroom.
Thus relieved of his responsibility by handing over his daughter to a suitable man, Svayambhuva Manu, his mind agitated by feelings of separation, embraced his affectionate daughter with both his arms.
The emperor was unable to bear the separation of his daughter. Therefore, tears poured from his eyes again and again, drenching his daughter's head as he cried, My dear mother, my dear daughter. Uh,
Oh.
oh, it's like the whole daddy's girl, like my baby. Oh,
Mm-hmm. After asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, followed by his retinue.
retinue.
Ret- retinue. Along the way, he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seer's beautiful hermitages on both the charming banks of the Saraswati, the river so agreeable, so saintly to saintly persons.
Overjoyed to know of his arrival, his subjects came forth from Brahmavarta to greet their returning lord with songs, prayers, and musical instruments.
The city of Barhismati, rich in all kinds of wealth, was so called because Lord Vishnu's hair dropped there from his body when he manifested himself as Lord Boar. As he shook his body, this very hair fell and turned into blades of evergreen, pusa grass, and kasa, by means of which the sages worship Lord Vishnu after defeating the demons who have interfered with the performance of their sacrifices.
Manu spread a seed of kusas and kasas and worshiped the Lord, the personality of Godhead, by whose grace he had obtained the rule of the terrestrial globe.
Having, having entered the city of Barhismati, in which he had previously lived, Manu entered his palace, which was filled with an atmosphere that eradicated the three miseries of material existence. Krishna
Emperor,
conscious. Go ahead.
yeah, did you want to say something?
No, I'm good.
Emperor Svayambhuva Manu enjoyed life with his wife and subjects and fulfilled his desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles contrary to the process of religion. Celestial musicians and their wives sang in chorus about the pure reputation of the emperor, and early in the morning, every day, he used to listen to the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a loving heart. It sounds lovely.
It does. Thus, Svayambhuva Manu was a saintly king. Although absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna conscious atmosphere.
Consequently, although his duration of life gradually came to an end. His long life, consisting of a Manavantara era, was not spent in vain, since he ever engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, and chanting the pastimes of the Lord.
Hmm.
Whoa.
He passed his time, which lasted 71 cycles of the four ages.
Whoa.
71 times 4,320,000 years. Always thinking of Vasudev and always engaged in matters regarding Vasudev. Thus, he transcended three destinations.
Wow. It's a long life.
It's a very long life.
That's a long time. Therefore, O Vidura, how can persons completely under the shelter of Lord Krishna in devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, the mind, nature, and other men and living creatures?
In reply to questions asked by certain sages, he, Svayambhuva Manu, out of compassion for all living entities, taught the diverse sacred duties of men in general and the different varnas and ashramas.
I have spoken to you of the wonderful character of Svayambhuva. Now I suddenly can't say it. Manu, the original king, whose reputation is worthy of description. Svayambhavu Manu. Please hear as I speak of the flourishing of his daughter Devahuti. Ah, okay. So that's the end of chapter 22. Next one talking about Devahuti.
Yeah,
Mm,
and while we were in our slight hiatus, I was reading the purports of
okay.
must have been chapter 20.
Hmm.
And it was talking about how throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, we're going to hear of the different like great kings
Okay.
throughout the years, and so it just meant as a way to like inspire and let you know about them that they're not necessarily being told in chronological order, but that's part of the story of this is like these great
Yeah.
kings who not only protected their subjects like materially but spiritually. That was their duty to like the realm. You could
Yeah,
think of
that's
it.
like so interesting because we started out this conversation talking about Lord Ram. And that's what I feel like
Yeah,
that's exactly the like what he was doing. So
yeah.
this story that we're reading is so circular, so layered in that
Yeah, it
way that
is.
it's all about the same thing, different perceptions, different people's tellings of it.
Yeah.
I love it. So as Sutta Goswami brings us back to that very first, like, what are we doing? Like he's delivering everything, to the king,
Yeah.
to King Pariksit, who's sitting on
Right.
the side, right? Isn't
Right.
that where we're actually at? And so we're
Yeah.
like layer deep in here, and
Yeah.
it's all working together. It's all coming together. And I know we're even only a third into this thing, but
Oh, I know.
I mean, I can kind of see how it's all working together to tell us, I want to almost say the same thing, but to help us understand as much as our tiny human minds can,
Right.
you know,
Possibly comprehend.
possibly comprehend, that we're just all part of this one whole gigantic
Play.
manifestation.
Yeah.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here and
Yeah,
to be a creation of the creator.
for sure. For sure. For sure. Hey,
Uh,
so good, so good, so good. Well, I guess we're going to end it here and pick it up next week. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for your comments and likes and shares and all the things. It means so much to us. So we're grateful for
yes.
you.
We love you. We love you. Thank you. And Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Till next time.